Alright guys, welcome back. I am Cybernary, and this is part 6 of my Thaumcraft tutorial series. In the last episode we talked about all the different pieces of armor that you could make using Thaumcraft, including the robes, the Thaumium armor, and the runic armor. We also talked about enchanting and the different enchants that Thaumcraft brings to the table when it comes to adding onto your equipment. And today we are going to be going over the different equipment that you can make. We talked briefly about the Thaumium equipment in the last episode, but there are several pieces of equipment in our book that under the Artifice tab that are part of infusion. There's the pickaxe of the core, the axe of the stream, the sword of the zephyr, the shovel of the earth mover, and the hoe of growth. So all of these are basically upgraded versions of their counterparts in vanilla, and I wanted to go over each of them with you guys to show you their benefits. So first off, let's start off with the pickaxe of the core. As you can see, it takes a Thaumium pickaxe, some ingot shards, a log of great wood, and a diamond, along with some ingots. That's supposed to be Perdatio, I believe. Let's double check that. Oh, no, it is Perfodio, which is the mining, and then census. Okay, so when you're using a pickaxe of the core, it glows with the heat of the forge. So when you're mining ore blocks, there's a chance that you will mine a cluster instead of the ore block. So you can also use it to sound out any surfaces you right-click against to find out what valuable minerals may be nearby. So let me show you a little bit about that, just so that we can demonstrate it. So I'm going to get some stone, and of course we don't want regular old stuff. Let's get some diamonds, right? And I'm going to give myself a pickaxe of the core. So, oh, you know what? I also need some gold because there aren't diamond clusters. So if I was to make myself a wall here and put some diamonds behind it, and I switched in, you know what, I'm also going to make a wall over here that has, actually I'm just going to place some gold blocks down because that will demonstrate the clusters piece, which we talked a little bit about during the alchemy session. But let me switch over into survival, and I'm going to come up and right click on that, and wow, look at that, it shows me that there's something valuable back there. Now if those weren't there, what if it was further back? Okay, let's break that and let's add another layer. And add some diamonds. Let's add a piece of gold over here. And then what do you say? Maybe some iron or some lapis. I think we could do some lapis as well, don't you? Okay, so we'll put some iron up here, and some lapis down there. And let's see what this thing gives us. Okay, so it's telling the smaller the dot, the further back it is, and it does look like it can go pretty far. It's even showing up the gold that's over there behind the blocks. You see that? So it's kind of echo ranging where it can find cores. Now it's not distinguishing ores. It's not distinguishing what ores it's finding. It's just saying that there's ores. So even if I had a whole big vein of coal, it would still say that, hey, there's coal over here. So kind of a cool little thing there. Obviously I'm in creative, so it's just breaking the blocks. But if I switch over into survival and mine these blocks, then I'm getting ore, and there we go. We've got ourselves a gold cluster. So that's about the rate of gold cluster that you're going to get out of the gold ore. If you've got Tinker's Construct, then that's not going to matter to you. You can't smelt nugget clusters inside a Tinker's smeltery. I have tried that. I wonder what would happen if you break this with this. It's probably just gonna, yeah, it's just gonna break it. It's a normal pickaxe the rest of the time. Anything that it breaks is gonna break down into its normal thing, regardless of what kind of blocks there are. So, but if we come over here, you will find that you can enchant this, just like you can enchant any other pickaxe. You can give it efficiency, you can give it soak touch, you can give it unbreaking. Since it's in part of Thaumium, you can give it repair, which is nice too. So, of course, I'm still in survival mode, so it's not going to let me do that. But that is the pickaxe of the core. So very, very helpful. The ability to kind of echo sense where ores are can be helpful, especially down when you're doing looking for diamonds. The next thing I want to show you is the Sword of the Zephyr. Okay, so the Sword of the Zephyr, let's look it up in the book, is adding the element of air to a Thaumium sword plus a diamond. It hits not only one target, but it also hits multiple targets. When you're blocking, you can conjure a sphere of whirling winds around you, pushing enemies and loose objects away, deflecting incoming blocks. While blocking will also slowly lift you into the air. So if I was to use block, I'm floating up in the air and it's blowing away my enemies, right? It doesn't change the animation of swinging, but well, let's switch over into survival and give ourselves some zombies to fight. The zombie cat, however, nope. Yeah, these guys are going to burn because it is daytime, but see, I can hit multiple at the same time. Yeah, see, that's a skull crawler. I don't want to have to deal with him. He's annoying, so I'm just going to sit there and block until he's dead. And then I take fall damage. So that's kind of the Sword of the Zephyr. It's pretty neat. You can enchant it just like you can other things. I'm sure that you can add repair to it if you'd like, along with sharpness, smite, knockback, fire aspect, looting, and of course soul bond. So, well, soul bond is part of the Ars Magica mod, so you may not have soul bond, but that is the Sword of the Zephyr. Kind of cool. Okay, so moving on, the Axe of the Stream. The Axe of the Stream is the axe upgrade, obviously. We're going to switch over into creative mode and grab that. I'm going to look this up in the book and talk about the Axe of the Stream. Combining water shards and a Thaumium axe, you have created a tool that embodies the aspects of motion and flow. It's functioned like a normal axe on all materials except natural logs and trees. When used on them, the axe seeks to furthest block of the same type that is still connected to the block you're attempting to harvest, and harvest that one instead. In effect, you will chop trees down from the topmost block even if you hit the bottommost block. If you press and hold right-click, the axe will harvest at a much faster speed but a greater cost. If shift is held while using the tool, all of its special powers are suspended and it functions like a normal axe. So you may be wondering, well, why is that important? Why do I want to mine a tree from the top down instead of the bottom up? Well, let's test that for a second. We're going to go ahead and plant a tree. We're going to grow it, and then we're going to switch over into survival mode, and we're going to break it. And see how it's breaking the block from the top down? Well, apparently there's a game mechanic where if you break the tree in that method, the leaves decompose twice as fast, or 3 times as fast. I'm not exactly sure where that comes from, but oh yeah, I'm not in creative. And smarter people than me can specify why this is, but yeah, I've seen this happen with my golems. Golems do the same thing. When they cut down a tree, they cut it down from the top first using the same mechanic. Actually, you use an Axe of the Stream when you make the choppy core for the golem, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Right click, it's going to chop it that much faster. And if you have repair, then it doesn't matter too much about the decreased durability loss. Again, you can enchant this Axe of the Stream just like you can any other thaumium tool. So that's the Axe of the Stream. Don't need the apple, that, or that. Next we have the Shovel of the Earth Mover. Shovel of the Earth Mover has it will dig in a 3x3 area. Okay, combining earth shards with the thaumium shovel, you've created a peerless digging implement. If you right-click on the side of a block, it will attempt to place a 3x3 section of the same material in the world as long as you have sufficient blocks in your inventory. Orientation of both the digging and construction depends on the face you dug or clicked. If shift is held, all its special properties are suspended, and it functions like a normal shovel. So let's grab this, and we're going to get ourselves a stack of dirt. We're going to make ourselves a big stack of dirt here real quick. Actually, we're going to make it bigger than 3x3. And then we're going to get ourselves a wand, a creative wand, and build this up quite a bit. And we can build it out a little bit and try this out. So, like you said, if we were, I need one more thing. I need a stack of dirt, and I don't need the wand anymore. So if I'm trying to dig a hole, then I can dig a hole. Boom, boom. Now if I right click, it should shift. Okay, so if I shift, no, that'll do that. I don't want that. That does that. And if I right click on a block, it's not gonna place it. Oh, well that's interesting. So right click and it makes it 3. Okay. Well, that's kind of how that works. If you followed, I can hit that and it's going to do a 3x3 block. For some reason I can't do it in there because that block is already 3x3. If I right click on this block, however, it will fill in the area around it as a 3x3. So if that area already has it, let me try this. Okay, so I've got that open. If I right click on that, it fills in so that it's a full 3x3. So that's how the axe of the shovel of the earth mover works. Kind of cool. Nope, I need creative. Okay, so it's good that we've got dirt out, because the next is the hoe of growth. The hoe of growth is the last of the upgraded tools. It does require a thaumium hoe, order, and an entropy shard, diamond and log, like usual. By merging the magical energy from order and entropy with the thaumium hoe, you created a farming implement with few equals. When used to till a field, it will till a 3x3 instead of a single block. Okay, so that's good. When used to crops or other plants, it will act as bone meal to promote its growth, although at a higher cost to its durability. It might even be able to grow plants that normal bone meal can't. If shift is held, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab one of these. We don't need to worry about water, but we can go ahead and, nope, I'm still in creative. So, survival, boom. We now have ourselves, well, it's gonna, yeah, it's not gonna like it because there's no water around. So, nope. I'll give myself a bucket of water so that this isn't gonna go away. There we go. Now, if I give myself some seeds, yeah, just give me some of those, and we plant some of these, and I switch back over into survival because left click seems to, nope, left click's still gonna break them. So maybe if I right click on the plants, okay, yep, there it goes. It acts like bone meal. That's pretty nifty. And again, you can enchant this with repair and other things, so that while it may lose durability to make things grow, it won't. It will automatically repair itself. So that's a nifty little tool to have. That definitely will help out when you're doing your farming. So let me switch back over into creative now that we've tried that. And empty out this stuff as well. And we will be moving on. So those are all the tools that that Thaumcraft adds. Like I said, we've already talked about the thaumium tools, and you'll need thaumium tools to make these tools and that weapon. And you'll see how these upgraded tools offer better versions of just traditional vanilla tools. One thing we didn't talk about is the bone bow. The bone bow is a secret research that can be unlocked by scanning a bow. To make a bone bow, you need bones, obviously. Did I mess up that? I did. I messed up that recipe. So let's fix that real quick. So it's not bones, but it's not. It looked like it was. Yep. It's supposed to be string and bones this way. Nope, it'd be under other. So yeah, I completely got that backwards. So that's why I like checking the book. So making a bow from bones makes you're able to launch arrows faster and be able to shoot faster and shoot farther. So let me get me some bows, some arrows real quick. And I can hold down my right mouse button and it will constantly fire like this. Or as you saw, I can do this. And it goes really fast. Again, you can enchant this like normal. I think you can give this infinity. Let's check. A little bit of lag there. So yep, unbreaking. We can give that. We should be able to give it repair, actually. Yeah, let's give it repair. There's infinity. There's flame. And soul bond. All the good stuff. And punch and power. Enchant. So there we go. We have ourselves a bone bow that is drastically overpowered. Infinity. Super speed. With lots of damage. So that's the bone bow. It's highly, much bigger upgrade to the traditional bow. In addition, we also have primal arrows, which I think you saw when we were in here. Once you unlock the bone bow, you can look at primal arrows. These are all going to be the same recipe. It's just a different shard in the center, depending on the 6 different types of primal arrows that you can make. It does take 8 essence of the type of the primal type that you've got. So this one would take 8 air as well as needing the air shard there, and it gives you 8 arrows. So the 8 arrows that you have here, you'll be getting back. Now here's what the different arrows do. Air arrows will deal magic damage through armor, so it's kind of like piercing damage. Well, no, it's not piercing damage. It's just additional damage through the armor. Fire arrows obviously deal fire damage. Water arrows will do normal damage, but it slows down the mobs. Misspelled normal. Earth arrows pack a bigger punch, according to the book. So something like knockback, but maybe additional knockback if you already have knockback. Order arrows do less damage, but they weaken the mob. Kind of like a weakness potion. And then, of course, the entropy arrows do less damage than a regular arrow, but it also applies a wither effect. The other thing to remember is that you can use these arrows with the infinity enchantment, but they have a 1 in 3 chance of not being used, and the infinity enchantment working with these arrows. So it won't work 100% of the time. It only works about 33% of the time when you have these arrows in your inventory. but they're not that expensive to make. And if it's something that you want to add a little bit of additional damage or some additional effects, like maybe some arrows or something like that, to mobs that are susceptible to magic, that might be a good thing for you to look into. So that about wraps it up for the weapons and tools of Thaumcraft. Before we go for today, I am going to go over some of the other machines that you can make. So let's jump over there real quick, because we do have enough time to go over these machines. And then next episode, it shouldn't be a week, we'll be going over the different things you can do with the golems and what kind of automation you can do with the golems. So, starting off, let's see, we'll start off over here. This is the brain in a jar. We talked about that a little bit earlier because the infusion enchantment is past the brain in the jar. A brain in the jar is basically takes a zombie brain and some spider eyes and a water bucket and puts the brain in a jar. Now, why would you want a brain in the jar? They look creepy, they follow you around wherever you go, and they sometimes moan a lot. So, not a good thing to have around your base. Well, the one thing that this little guy can do is that it gathers up any XP that it might find. So, say for instance, you may have yourself a mob farm where you're collecting a whole bunch of mob drops. Put a couple of these guys around where all the creatures are dying, and they'll start soaking up the experience that you get. Once you want to collect, you just grab yourself the jar, say punch it, and then shake it, and you'll, by left clicking, and you'll get the experience out. Right click, you can place it back down again. So that's the experience. That's the brain in the jar. It does require infusion altar with some cognito, examus, and sensus, and it's very useful if you've got someplace that has you're losing experience points just because you're not around to get to collect it. Okay, guys, the next three things that I'm going to show you all have mirrors, or I'll talk about magic mirrors. Okay, so before we get into the magic mirrors, you need this item right here, which is the mirrored glass. And because I forgot to make a space for it, I've built the crafting recipe for the mirrored glass in the back here. It takes quicksilver, which I thought you'd never use, right? That's part of the one of the ores that you can gather with Thaumcraft, and a piece of glass paint, along with 10 ingus and 10 terra. That will make yourself a piece of mirrored glass, and you'll need a piece of mirrored glass for every mirror that you make. So the magic mirror requires a piece of mirrored glass, as I just said. It requires an ender pearl and 3 pieces of gold. It uses eye tier, permentatio, and tenebrow. So let me show you where we're talking about here. We're right over here, past after infusion with the magic mirror magic. There's how you make your mirrored glass, and then there's how you make the magic mirror itself. Eye tier, permentatio, and tenebra, which is the darkness. What happens with this is by linking the mirror with an ender pearl, it allows you access to the void or another dimension or whatever you'd like to call it. It allows you to transport items between the pairs of mirrors. And what you'll need is 2 pairs of mirrors. Okay, well I've got one here. And then if you wanted to link them, say I put one down there and I wanted to link another one to it, I would take this mirror that's in my hand, right click on it, and I now have a mirror that is linked to that specific coordinate in the overworld, so that if I put this one down, it's going to go back and forth between the two. And the way this works is any item that comes in contact with the mirror is going to pop out on the other side. And then it's going to pop right back through if it doesn't have any place to go. So we're going to break these two, and I'm going to show you what you can do with this. Say you've got yourself a mirror over here that's leading into a chest or something. Say you want to put something in that chest. Well, I'm out on a mining expedition. I've got my mirror. I plop it down. I'm going to sit there and drop off the ores and stuff that I've gathered, and they're going to come out of this mirror and drop it into that hopper and into that chest. So kind of a nifty little travel thing that you can do. You could also set up like maybe a dropper or something like that on a clock that would drop items into the mirror to transport them. In addition, you can make a hand mirror. Hand mirror takes a traditional mirror, adds a compass, a unused map, and a stick, along with some ITER and instrumentarium to make a hand mirror. A hand mirror, which I've got right here, I've got a regular hand mirror and I've got a linked hand mirror, will allow you an interface in case you don't want to just drop it in. You want to carry stuff, you're carrying stuff around in your mining expedition. You can right click on your hand mirror, put that stuff in there, and it will drop out of the mirror that it's attached to and into the inventory that you've got attached to your hopper or whatever. So not only do you not need to place this down, you can make it into a hand mirror where you've got an interface to put whatever you want into that chest. And as you can see, all the stuff that we just dropped in there. Let's see if I can do this where you can actually see the objects. I'll try to do it sideways. Okay, so you can see the item here. You can see the mirror here. Let's see if I... Oh, no, sorry. I'm going to be using this. You can see the mirror here. If I drop that, you'll see as they pop out of the mirror and they go into the hopper like we want them to. So that's kind of how mirrors and hand mirrors work. Now, you can't go through the void. It doesn't like you to try to go through the void. In fact, it won't let you go through the void. But not only can you transport items using this, you can also transport Essentia. And a long time ago, when we were talking about alchemy and the infusion altar, I talked a little bit about this little gem. This is the infusion mirror, and it works the exact same way as the other mirrors do, except for the fact that it only draws Essentia into it. It takes a piece of mirrored glass and iron and an interpearl and some permutatio, ITER, and aqua. And I tell you this, while the magic mirror and the magical hand mirror are great, this little gem will save you lots and lots of time, because not only can you place this down and link it up to wherever you've got all your jars of Essentia, like I've got my demo set up over there. You can also set these up between areas if you've got anything that requires essence to continue it being fed. So as an example, besides the altar, say you've got some growth lamps. Okay, we talked about growth lamps during the infusion episode. Growth lamps grow crops faster. So if we were to go through and break all this beautiful wheat, and replant it, I'm going to need to retill that. So let me get a hoe of growth, huh? That was a pretty cool little tool. Bam, bam. Okay, so we're not going to do anything with these mirrors. I've got myself 3 jars of herba over here. Herba is what feeds lamps of growth. I'm going to get myself a couple of mirrors. Oh, well, first I need to plant the seeds that I want to grow. Whether this is wheat or carrots or even trees and netherwort. The lamps of growth will affect them. So right now these are growing at the normal Minecraft rate. If I was to put a mirror up here and then link a mirror to that location and then put the linked mirror over here, then those lamps are going to start drawing herba out of those jars through the mirror to these lamps. And you can see automatically it's already starting to grow. And that's another very good use for Essentia mirrors and how to transport essence from multiple locations. You don't need essence jars everywhere you go. You just need them in one central location, and use some mirrors, and you've got yourself essence transportation that's better than none. Okay, moving on. We've got a couple more machines that I want to show you and talk to you about before we wrap up this episode of Thaumcraft. The next item is the arcane bore. This is probably one of the coolest machines that you can make with Thaumcraft. It's essentially a mining laser that will cut a 3x3, well, a 3x3 at the very minimum, sometimes a 5x5 hole or corridor in the area that you've got it pointed at. This is what it takes to make one. Some logs, some shards, a shovel and pickaxe, and some gold around a piston. And it does require quite a bit of essence to make. So let's look that up in the book. It's right here, arcane bore. And as you'll see, machina, modus, mining, potentia, and vacus. Now, the other thing that you need to understand is that you need to make a base for the bore to sit on. And this is just a arcane work table recipe. So, diamond, some great wood planks, some iron, and a little bit of air and ordo. So, let's see this thing in action. Alright, I've got one set up back here, and I've got myself a nice long corridor of stone for it to break down. Alright, if I was to come over here and grab myself a wand, I can change the direction that this mining laser is pointing. If I don't like it there, I'm going to right click on it and it'll go this direction. It's always going to go the direction that I'm standing. I right click on it this way, it'll come over here. Right click on it, it comes over here, and so on and so forth. Now, if I was to right click on it with an empty hand, it's going to open up an interface. The mining laser, after you get it built, will require more items than... will need additional items to work beyond just what you created. It's going to need a focus of excavation, and it's also going to need a pickaxe. Now, the pickaxe and any enchantments that you have on the excavation will matter. If you have a diamond, if you have a soak touch pickaxe in here, that will matter. The durability of the pickaxe matters because it will use the pickaxe to mine out the blocks. Now, the speed of the pickaxe won't matter as much because the speed of the machine is going to matter more than the speed of the pickaxe. Now, if you have treasure on the foci or if you have fortune on the pickaxe, that will matter as well. Along with, frugal and any other things on this probably won't because it's not actually using Viz to use it. But, you know, if you've got Silk Touch, if you've got Fortune, any kind of durability, repair, unbreaking, those kind of things will still work because it will use this pickaxe up as it mines. The other thing to think about is where's the item's going to go. This is going to collect the items that it breaks, and then in the base, it's going to shoot them out. So you need an inventory somewhere next to that for it to gather. The other thing to remember is that, this requires a redstone signal to turn on. Additionally, if you have a source of lux nearby and a source of, first off, if you have a source of, let me get to where it says that. Okay, you place the pickaxe. A jar of Peridio Ascension near the bore will greatly speed up the rate at which it mines, but it will consume 1 point of Peridio for every 16 blocks mined. So that's something else to keep in mind. I've seen some tutorials where they will set up a little golem down here that will take cobblestone out of here because, as you can see there by me holding down the shift key, cobblestone has 1 Peridio in it. So if you've got a golem that just kind of grabs cobblestone out of here and moves it over into an alchemical alembic and an alchemical furnace that will melt that down, then you've got a never-ending supply of that essence to speed up this this mining laser. The other thing that I've found out is that if you one of the additional things that you can do with an arcane lamp is that if you attach an arcane lamp to the base of a bore, the arcane lamp gains an additional ability. It will draw Lux Essentia from a nearby source to light up the tunnel that the bore digs. A single point of lux creates a single point of light. The sources of light will not disappear after the lamp has been removed. So if I was to come in here and grab a lamp and right click on it to this, then it's going to use that lamp, or it's going to use the essence that it can find, the lux essence, to light up the tunnel that it digs. So real quick, let's come over here and grab ourselves a mirror, okay, and let's teleport over to where the all my essence jars are, and link one more mirror to this mirror, and then when it starts requiring these essence, oops, okay, so I need to create a second one. Actually, I think the creative aspect will create a second one. Okay, so there we go. I've got a second one. Apparently, you can only link mirrors to one location. And we're going to teleport back over to our machines, and we're going to place this Essentia mirror down right behind this, so that both machines, this machine and the lamp, can start drawing in the essence. Now, before I do that, I want to show you a little bit about how slow this thing works without the essence that we're talking about. So let's turn that on, and you'll see that that's not too bad, is it? It's breaking itself, and see, occasionally it will break blocks that are okay, so that's the normal speed. It was using the Essentia that it had drawn into the mirror before I broke it, and that's the normal speed of a mining laser without this essence, the Prodigio essence that it's breaking now. And seeing as that it doesn't have any access to lux, it's not actually lighting up the tunnel either. Now, if I was to put down this mirror and it can start drawing in the essence that it needs, which is that Prodigio and the lux, then you'll see that it speeds right up and starts breaking blocks much, much faster. If I right click on the machine, you'll see that it is using up the durability. You can see the MBT item number up there climbing as the durability drops. And all the blocks that it breaks are showing up here in this chest. So that's the mining laser, and there's a lot that you can do with it. I'm sorry, it's the arcane bore, but I still call it a mining laser. And there's a lot more that you can do with it depending on the pickaxe that you put in there, the enchantments that are on the pickaxe, and the enchantments that are on this foci right there. But you get a general gist of how it works and what it can do. So we'll shut that off, and there it is gathering that stuff up. I don't see any light sources down there, but then again, it isn't nighttime, so may not see it. Okay, so moving on, I've got a couple more here. This is called the Arcane Ear, and let me clear up my inventory a little bit, and I'll show you where we're at with the Arcane Ear. That is up here past the Goggles Are Revealing, Arcane Ear. What it does is, by right-clicking on this, you can set what note you want this to be. Let me switch over into Survival, because it was giving me some text. That's interesting. Okay, so what you can do is you can tie this, that's the note that it's going to receive or listen for. If it ever hears that note, then it's going to apply a redstone signal to whatever it's connected to. That's a redstone lamp. I've also got a redstone lamp over here with a note block that's set to play the same tone. Well, maybe not the same tone. I had it set to the same tone. Maybe I have to do it with a wand. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had some really wackiness stuff going on, and my Minecraft ended up crashing. I think that was probably part of it. But this is the way it's supposed to work. You right-click, obviously you right-click on the note, the Arcane Ear, until you find the note that you want it to listen for, and then of course it also depends on the block that it's sitting on, just like the note block. So when it hears the note, it sends a redstone signal, So basically with arcane ears you have wireless redstone. It's kind of cool, huh? So that's all I was trying to show you, was that it does work. It's just Minecraft was acting a little buggy there for a second. Okay, arcane levitators. Real quickly, I know this video is getting a little bit long, but let me wrap up these last couple machines here, and we will wrap up the episode. Arcane levitator. There's the recipe there: logs, earth shard, air shard, iron, and a piece of nitor. Will let you create arcane levitators. Levitators are awesome little blocks that will propel anything, an item or a player, into the air. As you can see there, I'm not flying. In fact, to prove it, I will switch into survival mode, and as I move off of the arcane levitator, I will fall. Now, you may wonder why I've got all this glass set up. Arcane levitators can be toggled on and off with a redstone signal. I've got a whole bunch of repeaters underneath, as you can see, pointing into blocks. That's partly the reason I don't have a levitator in the center, because powering that block would be tricky. Could be done using some torches and some other stuff, but just for the point of examples, I wanted to show you that. So you can toggle that on and off and use this as like a person elevator, or if you wanted, you could, the effects are cumulative, so if you stack several on top of each other and build yourself kind of a hollow tower, you could build yourself an item elevator that pushes items quite high up into the sky. Let me switch over into creative real quick and fly up there and show you where those objects are. There they are. We're up around 85. When they started off, down here about 56, 57. So as you can see, very easily you could make an item elevator using these, and it will propel them quite high up into the sky. So that's the arcane elevator, arcane levitator, sorry. The next we have are some arcane doors, keys, silver and gold, and arcane pressure plates. Okay, these will allow you to lock down your base pretty well, in the sense that anybody can open a door, even with an iron door. If you have a button, somebody can just walk along and place the button, and you almost have to be kind of sneaky when it comes to hiding where your buttons and levers are. With this, an arcane door, a brain, some wood, and some thaumium, the only person that can break this door is the person who placed it. And it will also only open for the person who placed it. So basically, right away, you've got yourself a door that is locked to everybody but yourself. Now, you can grant access to the doors by linking the keys to doors using the same method that we used before with the mirrors and stuff, by grabbing a key, walking up to the door, and right-clicking on it. I now have a key that is linked to the arcane door at that location. And anybody holding this key will be able to open that door. Now, I placed the door, so the door is going to open for me anyway. Silver keys will grant access to your doors. Gold keys will grant access to your doors and can also be used to grant permission for people to make silver keys. But only the owner of the door can make gold keys. So you got a little bit of permission tree set up there with the different keys. Last but not least is the pressure plates. These are great. You can link them to the doors as well. As you can see, this pressure plate opens the door, but I can right click on this pressure plate with an empty hand, and it will change what it triggers on. Now, it's now triggered on everything. Now it's going to trigger on everything except me, so when I walk over it, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work, save for like a trap or something. And now it will trigger on just me. So I can still open it with my hand, but it also opens and closes when I walk over it, but not something else. And see, the door doesn't open. And he's gone. So that's some of the beauty of the arcane pressure plates. Can be toggled to work on all, just you, or all but you. And the keys, of course, and the doors themselves. So we saw the recipes. They're not too expensive. This is all iron and iron nuggets. This is gold and gold nuggets. And there you go. That's that. Last but not least, we have the infernal furnace and the bellows for furnaces. An infernal furnace is a 3x3x3 multi-block structure. You can see one right over there. It takes 12 obsidian, 12 nether brick, one lava bucket, one bucket of lava, and one iron bar. And it takes 50 ingots and 50 terra to activate. So when you first build it, you're going to be building it just like this: layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3, and then place your lava down in the center. Now it'll look just like this until you activate it. When you slap it with a wand, that's when it turns into this guy. And you'll see that the obsidian turns into kind of rings and stuff, and that you'll have some eyes down there at the bottom. Now, the beauty of this is that, and we were talking, the arcane doors and stuff that we had talked about were right up here. And then as far as the infernal furnaces, that's right here. And the beauty of this is that it will sometimes duplicate items that it's smelting. So by harnessing raw ignis within a furnace crafted from obsidian and nether brick, you've created a highly efficient and fuel-free furnace. So that's the other beauty of this, is that it doesn't require coal or anything else. That block of lava will constantly work. So efficient, in fact, that occasionally it will produce bonus materials in the form of nuggets or other items. While this is essentially free, it is also very slow unless the furnace gets a new supply of ignis essentia every now and then. This can be done by placing a jar of ignis essentia within line of sight of the front of the furnace, somewhere within 10 blocks. Luckily, a little essentia goes a long way. That's why I've got this essentia sitting here. Now, if you've got more mirrors, as mirror, link it back to where you've got all of your other essentia, so you don't have to have bottles of it placed everywhere. Now, the other thing to remember with this, it should also be noted that occasionally bits of flux escape into the environment. Items you wish to smelt need to be dropped into the top of the furnace and will be spit out the front. So what I've done here is I've set up some hoppers and a chest, along with some ignis and brain in a jar, which I will explain why I've set that up there as well. Now, you've got a hole in the top. You could just climb up to the hole and drop several stacks of stuff in at once if you want. Or you could set up a little clock like I've got here and get yourself some food, maybe some raw chicken or whatever, and drop it in a hopper. And as soon as this, it's giving it to me because I'm close by, but as soon as it detects items, this little clock will sit there and constantly have the dropper tick off and drop things into the furnace. Now, the furnace will spit out the cooked chicken and occasionally some chicken nuggets. But the other thing it spits out is experience. Whenever it's cooking stuff, it kicks out experience, little bits of it, but enough of it. And you basically have yourself a free, more or less, furnace that will constantly be cooking stuff. So that's kind of what the infernal furnace does. There's obviously you could smelt clusters of metal in here. You could smelt ore berry stuff in here, all that kind of thing. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about was the bellows, arcane bellows. Some wood, leather, air essence, and some iron, and a little bit of air and ordo will make a arcane bellows. And you see several of them over here. These are the different things that you can attach them to. A crucible, an alchemical furnace, and you can also attach them to the sides of the infernal furnace. And basically, what this does is it speeds up all smelting processes. So as you can see now, with 3 of these on here, it's really churning out all the items quite quickly. So these are very handy to have especially on your alchemical furnace whenever you're doing a lot of not smelting, but a lot of essence gathering. The bellows sure do speed things up quite a bit. So that's about it that I've got for today. Like I said, I know that today's been kind of a long episode. We were talking about all the tools, and then I wanted to get in the rest of these different machines that you have in Thaumcraft. When we come the next and maybe last episode, it depends on how much we get through, we'll cover Golomancy. We'll talk a little bit about the hungry chest and the traveling trunk. along with all the different golems and cores and stuff that you can make for golems, and how effective the golems can be at automating your base and making things, giving them tasks to do around your base. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Ratings or likes are always appreciated, and I hope you guys have a great day. I will catch you next time. We'll see you later. Bye bye.